The Lost Mermaid-Chapter 21. Kieran and I swam up the waters of the Eel River with a band of merry merfolk. Cordial kisses and embraces were exchanged as the familiar greeting as we set off. I loved it, especially from the courteous mermen my age. As we swam along, I couldn't help but notice there was every age under the sun in the happy cohort. It seemed a celebration and dancing would be a family affair. I was amazed to see that they all understood their place in the world. I couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness in my heart, wishing my family could be similar. Seeing all the merchildren reminded me how cute my little brothers were and how much I missed my mom. Karen, Zeal, and Stormy accompanied me as I swam upriver, Blue and Coral tagging along with them. Eventually, we approached a massive stone mountain where mermen stood watch as sentinels, protecting a small opening that could only fit 2 merfolk at a time. After leaving the river, we passed through the gated passageway and entered the cavern. Inside, we found ourselves in an oval-shaped tunnel that seemed to stretch on as far as the eye could see. Along the corridor were hundreds of cave-like balconies created from rocks and roots. Dainty lights I recognized as mermaid tears were woven in the roots, sparkling like gemstones. This must be the cave of the sacred trees Emerald had told me about. All the laughter and frolicking were hushed, as all sensed we were in a hallowed place. We traveled silently. No one said a word, not even the merbabies. We swam on and on through the long corridor. At last, the tunnel led us to an expansive cavern that had the ambiance of a grand cathedral. The entire group burst into lively chatter, warm greetings, and music. Coral took hold of my hand and said, "The Arboretum is my favorite. Come." Heather reminded, "Be sure to find us when thou hear the sound of the gong. We want to be together for Stormy's dawning." "We will," replied Coral. As Aaron, Heather, Stormy, and Pearl departed to prepare for the event, Coral tugged me in the opposite direction. "Curious?" I asked. "What is the dawning?" "'Tis the ceremony for Stormy. She has earned a rite of passage to receive her tiara." "Sounds intriguing," I said. "It truly is. A maiden's dawning is one of the grandest days in a murderal's life. I, too, will earn my tiara soon." I gazed around the lavish lagoon as a magnificent scene unfolded before my eyes. Waterfalls cascaded over rocks and boulders like shimmery curtains. Merfolk swayed on vined swings, which swung gently in the breeze overhead. Still, others coasted down mossy slides into the lagoon, squealing with delight. Overhead, roots from 2 towering redwood trees formed a large skylight above us, through which we could see the dazzling Milky Way and a 3/4 moon. The trees stood like valiant ancestors, tall and proud. Their roots spiraled around each other, plunging into the pool below, forming 4 glowing columns that sparkled in the water's reflection. I couldn't help but stare in wonder at the sheer beauty of this place, hoping to forever etch it in my memory. At that moment, I couldn't help but think back to taking the slop bucket out to the pigs each night after dinner. I remembered gazing up at the starry sky, yearning to escape my mundane life and soar into the safety of the heavens. How badly I longed to be in a place where I was actually wanted. My new world seemed far better than any I had ever known before. Inscribed on the columns were what Emerald explained to me as the 4 pillars of Jelafan. First, Olwelda once was as we are now. Having proved faithful, she is now exalted, enthroned in yonder heavens. Arm thyself to prove worthy to return to Olwelda and live in paradise. Second, all creation is growing towards its entelechy, its perfected form, even as a seed grows into a tree. Nourish body, spirit, and soul to become thy destiny. Third, Olwelda left the world unfinished, so we may have the honor of completing her creations and bring forth wonder and joy for all. Fourth, come to know Olwelda through prayer and devotion, for she is a being of pure love, light, and might that shall guide thy path as thou seekest a divine life. Coral spoke, before thee are the mermena trees. They are of utmost importance, as their root crystals hold the memories of our ancestors, growing through generations as sacred treasures. As I gazed up at the towering trees, it felt as if they had their own souls. They stood overhead, protecting us with a grandparent's concern. I felt a mysterious bond form and knew that the mermaids were somehow safe from land-dwellers. I couldn't help but think Mom would love this place. She enjoyed taking us to hike the mossy redwoods and explore the lush forests. The thought of her brought a wave of sadness over me, and I longed to share this experience with her. If only she, Dacia, and some of my siblings were here with me, I would happily stay in this wondrous world without any guilt or regret. After the festivities began, everyone went their separate ways. But before we left, Aaron gave each of us a water skin filled with fresh water from the nearby springs. In the ocean, I was always parched due to the salt water, but here I could quench my thirst and drink to my heart's content. Blue emerged from the water, climbing a pillar. He called out, "Julie, watch me!" "No, me first," cried Zeal. They scrambled over each other, but Zeal won the race up the vined column. They found a perch and dove from the precipice, spinning and flipping, landing with a splash. A mix of nerves and excitement filled me. While others appeared relaxed, I couldn't shake the feeling of being an outsider. Karen, who was floating next to me, noticed my unease and shifted his position. He then rubbed his hand on mine, which was resting in the crook of his arm. "I'll stay with thee," he reassured. I breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank you. I've never been to anything like this before." "Don't worry," he replied. Blue asked, "Did thou see me dive?" I smiled. "Yes. I can't believe you can climb that high." Turning to my cousin, I said, "Zeal, your dive was out of sight." He beamed. Pointing, he said, "Look." Gazing upwards, I spotted a merman perched atop a webbed swing, suspended high in the air. His voice echoed through the arboretum as he serenaded us all. With a swift motion, he plucked a vine from the water, which brought up giggling, chatty mermaids on webbed seats. Before long, the mermaids were swinging to and fro, soaring from vine to vine like fairies dancing on air. "I'm blown away by this," I exclaimed. "Blown away?" Karen looked at me quizzically. "It means it's awesome. It's beyond belief," I explained. He chuckled, indicating he was unfamiliar with the phrase, which was understandable. Upon hearing the great gong sound 4 times, Coral grasped my hand. She said, "'Tis time to prepare the chamber." With no time to lose, all the mermaids put away their swings, tidied the vines, and dove into the water to join the audience as the resounding gong echoed through the arboretum. Everyone sang in a chant like chorus that resembled music from a monastery. As the reverent melody grew, my heart swelled with a sense of solemnity and respect for the ceremony that awaited us. Coral and I soon caught up with Emerald, and together we harmonized our voices with those of the merfolk. Lost in the joy of the moment, we swayed to the rhythm. I knew this was a time I would always treasure and never forget. An aged mermaid with flowing white hair arose, proclaiming, "Sisters and brothers of the sea, the time has come for the ceremony of the rising sun. Our young maidens have honored the 4 pillars of Jellyfan and are prepared to receive their tiaras. It is my pleasure to introduce Amazi, Charmwin, Juvenessa, Cascadia, and Stormy. Having proved worthy, they are invited to join the ranks of our esteemed mermaids." Emerald whispered, "That is Queen Azura and the matrons. They are the wisest of us all." As always, Stormy's raven-black hair flowed untamed and free, as though encompassed by a swirling storm cloud. Stormy and the maidens modeled the armor they had crafted from seashells, seaweed, and metal. They paraded their protective gear, showing their beautiful yet useful armor. The audience slapped their tails to show their applause and approval. Afterward, Charmwin gave a speech celebrating the first pillar of Jellyfon. Kingdom of the Great Siwa, she began, as we navigate the challenges that come. Let us strive to live in harmony with other sea dwellers. It is crucial we exhibit wisdom and grace in our decision-making and conflict resolution to create a ripple of peace in the great waters. Let us seek harmonious solutions before resorting to the use of force and weapons. For it is only through example, understanding, and collaboration that we can truly thrive in the magnificent world that surrounds us. The sea maidens assembled in a diamond pattern to perform a sequence of movements to showcase their fighting skills. With a flick of their wrist, their bracelets transformed into sharp-edged daggers they threw with perfect synchronicity. Then the mermaids gathered in a circle, Stormy floating in the center, as each shared a unique talent. Marquesa shared tales of mermaid lore and traditions she had woven into cloth. Juvenessa performed amusements. But Stormy had something else in store. With graceful gestures, she showcased a glimmering potion of medicinal herbs she had grown and collected. We were in awe of her knowledge and skill as she sang of their healing properties. Queen Azura said, "Stormy, please share with us thy recent travels." Stormy took a deep breath before speaking. Recently, I embarked on my vision journey where I was stranded at sea and had to find my way home in just 4 days. I used every survival skill I knew. I followed the stars and the currents, foraged for food, and trusted in the wisdom of Alwelda. It was a difficult journey, but it taught me much. We listened intently. Continuing on, she said, "The most important skill I employed was receiving counsel from the Great One. I prayed to Alwelda for guidance and revelation. Through faith and perseverance, I was able to find my way home. I vow to use my knowledge, skills, and experience to serve our people and our underwater kingdom." The matron responded, "We are honored to hear about thy successful journey." The mermaids erupted into cheers and applause by rhythmically splashing their fins once again. Some dove down and leapt up, creating water sprays in the air that burst like glittering baubles. The ancient matron applauded, proclaiming, "Amazi, Charmwin, Juvenessa, Cascadia, and Stormy, thou hast proven themselves as true warriors of the sea. Thou art ready to move from childhood to womanhood and earn thy rightful place among us. As a symbol of thy accomplishment, we present to each of thee a tiara, adorned with the tears of our ancestors and the gem of thy own achievement. Wear it with pride, and let it remind thee of the strength and resilience thou possess as a mermaid." The tiara was handed from Queen Azura to a matron of one generation to the next, as each placed a mermaid tear in the garland. It finally came to one's mother, who placed a gem before handing it to her daughter. Stormy added the final pearl that dangled from the center of the circlet. Heather, beaming with pride, placed the tiara on her daughter, who looked absolutely radiant. It was inspiring to witness this momentous coming-of-age ceremony. Whispering, I asked Emerald. I knew the tiara was special, but I had no idea it must be earned. "Why did you give it to me?" "I could see thy heart," she replied. "Alwelda helped me see thy wondrous soul. The 4 pillars of Jellyfon are interwoven into thine character. Therefore, thou art deserving of the tiara. Also, the crown is meant to help one when needed. It proved necessary for our journey, so we could venture back to the Great Siwa." Afterward, we gathered around Stormy to congratulate her on her momentous day. We were all proud of her accomplishments and expressed our joy by embracing and complimenting her. Following the ceremony, the crowd dispersed. Eventually, we dove below to join the mermaids in the underwater ballroom. I wondered what it would be like. Would it be similar to the dances I attended? Oh, I hoped I wouldn't be a wallflower. I could see it now. The gawky human girl all alone on the sidelines as everyone else danced the night away. Upon entering the ballroom, A mix of excitement and apprehension coursed through me, as I had never danced with mermen before. However, my worries dissipated when Kieran, with a charming smile, spotted me and swam toward me. "May I have the honor of dancing with you?" he asked. "Yes, but I'm not sure how," I said nervously. "Don't worry, just bob," he reassured. "Okay," I replied, trusting in his guidance. "Close your eyes and hear the rhythm of the music. All you have to do is move to the beat." "It's weird to dance without legs," I said. "Julie, if thou has fun, 'tis good," he said with a smile, putting me at ease. "Mermen know how to dance. 'Tis part of our culture, but the man's job is to make you look good in the ballroom." He studied my face intently, adding, "You have a beautiful smile." Dancing with Kieran was unlike any experience I ever had. The way he moved was mesmerizing, as he propelled us forward with effortless ease. Closing my eyes, I surrendered to the music. It felt as if we were gliding through the water, weightless and free. Out of all the mermen who asked me to dance, Karen was my favorite. I found myself lost in the moment, absorbed in the synergy of our dance. At previous school dances, I had always felt invisible. But here, I was on a never-ending carousel ride, whirling and twirling with creative and confident dancers. The mermen knew how to lead and were easy to follow. They spun me, and I flipped, spiraled, and rolled. Each man escorted me to the edge of the room after the dance, thanking me politely. We also had group dances that were just as delightful. We held hands above our heads, spinning in a circle, chanting and singing. The leaders looped out, making a tunnel so the mermaid chain could swim through the arch we formed. Circling together, we made a ring, and some danced in the center. I laughed, enjoying myself all night, wishing Dacia could be there to experience it too. She would love this place. As the dance came to a close in the Mermaid Lagoon, Karen returned to my side to dance with me for the final dance. He said, "You have a beautiful smile. Did I tell you that you have a great smile?" "Yes, you did." He shook his head at his repetitive compliment. "You are a very fine dancer. I hope you had a splendid time." I couldn't help but smile. I felt like the belle of the ball. With a laugh, he offered me his arm once again, and I happily accepted, feeling cherished and desired. The gong sounded, signaling it was time to leave. Although I had danced for hours, I was not tired at all. I wished I could stay forever, dancing in the arboretum. Before we journeyed home, Aaron and the boys filled up the water skins with fresh spring water. Finding me, Aaron said, "Julie, sip deeply from the spring. We will carry much drink for thee, but we may need to return and refill so thou have enough fresh water." "Thank you," I said. "You are so thoughtful. I'm sorry to be such a burden." He furrowed his brow. "Never say such a thing," he protested. "Thou art ours, our very own kindred. You saved our emerald, which created a debt we can never repay. 'Tis an honor to love and serve thee. I hope thee always abound with peace and plenty." Aaron was so good to me. I felt like one of his daughters. I was remembered here and belonged. As I floated there thinking, my heart was torn as I thought about home. I loved my family, but this place was wonderful. I hoped I would never have to leave. I didn't know if I could truly belong here, but I loved everything I had experienced. How I wished I could push these bittersweet feelings away. I was nervous about becoming a mermaid permanently and going to distant seas. What if I wasn't happy and I wanted to go home?